Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 4 here in the Prehistoric Crater. We need to start focusing on Demolior because we only have 148 cycles to go before it impacts. And uh, as someone said in the comments on my last video, there is a lot of things we need to do to get the blast shot ready to fend it off. And I haven't looked at it even once, so need to get that sorted out today, and we're going to focus on also getting us working on Atmo Suits, which is going to require us to tackle the wrecks. So a lot of new fun things today. We're going to get started right now. It's very nice to have everything kind of in a stable spot before we get started on going out into new things. We have food sorted pretty well. We have plenty being produced. We have plenty of smokers running. Frankly, we're probably overproducing because we're going to have food that's spoiling because I haven't made a permanent solution for storing it yet. We have oxygen being produced. We don't have quite enough power to run all of it, but it's being produced. I need to get the hydrogen setup going so that we can have this being self-powered so that we're not pulling from our grid for it. But we're doing well. We're not suffering here at all. Everybody's needs are met. There are things that are creeping up on us to varying degrees. We have Demolior coming in 147 cycles, and I need to get started on that just so I know what I need to do. But there's also other pressing issues. Heat is a creeping thing. Especially now that we've added this in. We have some insulated tiles, but we have some heat leakage through our vents here, which I don't want to remove yet because we're not done building. But once we're done, we can seal them up and that heat will come out. But we do have the heat that's in areas like this around the base, and like this saltwater geyser, that heat is just leaking in. So we need to focus on getting that sorted as well. First things first, though. Let's go to our stations. Make a blast shot maker. I'm going to need to get some more refined metal. So let's get some refined metal being made. Just need 8 of them, I think. Was that correct? Yeah, we need 8 processes of nickel being processed into, or nickel ore being processed into nickel, so that we can build a blast shot maker. That way we can just look at the recipes and determine what things we need, and we can prioritize how long it's going to take to get things rolling there. While we're doing that, I'm going to work on getting some things set up down here. I don't have a demolitionist yet, so I think I have... Senna is working on getting to that, but we don't have the skill points we need for it. We need to work on our morale so that we don't end up with stress from that as well. Catalina has some stress right now because she got trapped doing some digging, but she's fine. So I can't remove these, but I can go in here and build our system that we're going to use for cooling. So it's going to be centered around having a reservoir in here, and then we're going to have some piping that comes out from that. And on this part, we're just going to do insulated piping just for this section here. We're going to basically have the coolant will be in here. It will come out. And then we're going to have a temperature sensor for it, the liquid pipe thermo sensor. And then normally what we would do in an active cooling situation is we would have a aqua tuner. We don't have that yet. Well, we do, but we don't have the ability to run it yet. I don't have materials for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a liquid shutoff, and we're going to set that up just like we would with a aqua tuner. I'm going to put it up one more like this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have a pipe that goes through here into here, and we'll do a bypass just like we would with a aqua tuner, and then that's going to go to here. So when coolant comes out, we'll have this either sending the liquid off for more cooling, or it will bypass to here. When it goes off for more cooling, it's going to go out of here. I'm going to have it actually come down this way. And then if it goes that way, it will come down through here. It'll go this way. So if it bypasses, it'll meet up here. and it'll come back to this. Now we'll have to extend this out into this cold biome so we have a radiant loop, but we now have a loop of coolant that checks if it is cold, and if it's not, it will send it down to pick up some more chill, and it'll come back to here. The other part we need to do that is send a loop from here that goes out through here to the main base to pick up heat. So basically the coolant will come in, it will equalize in the reservoir, it'll come out, it'll check, is the coolant that's coming out in the range that we want? And if it is, then this will be turned off, so it'll bypass and it'll just go right back out to the base. And if it gets too hot, then we'll turn on this shutoff, which will allow the liquid to pass this way and go down and pick up some of the cold from this area. And then we can also leave the natural wheezorts in here to have a little extra cold, but mostly we're just going to be using this radiant cold that is already in here and slowly heating the ice biome up. It is a short-term fix, but it will last us a couple hundred cycles, which to get to Demolior, we only need 147. So we need to run a lot more piping, and then we need to get some automation set up to make this work. So this is basically just going to go here, and that's it. The other thing we need to do is we're going to put in a bottle drainer here, and we're going to put it just like this, and then we're going to put in a bridge that bridges on here, and we'll connect that up to this. This is all temporary. This is going to be so we can just turn on polluted water, send it in. Then over here where we have our polluted water, I'm going to put down a pitcher pump right here that allows us to have duplicants come and grab some polluted water and drop it off until we get this system filled up with the polluted water that we need. I have gotten enough to make our blast shot maker. I'm just going to throw one down here just so we can take a look at it and see what's needed. Take out a blueprint while we're here. This area is getting built slowly. It is going to take time to do anything down here because I don't have Atmo Suits, so they have to come in, hold their breath, and build things. Just how it is. I'm working on getting to the point where I have Atmo Suits, but there's a lot of things going on, and I need to prioritize. And figuring out what we need for the blast shot is going to be first. So we're going to get this built up, and then we'll come up with a plan for blast shots. I have no idea how many blasts it's going to take to stop this thing. So the sooner we can get them made and get them up here and fire something off, the better. You know what? I think it looks like there are some in these lockers. So if I go up here and rummage through them, we can at least do some testing. I don't know if it's worth it trying to get up there. You know, I think it is worth it trying to get up there before we have the Atmo Suits. Not to mention I need to get to a Rex, and there's one in here. So I have to figure out what we need to do to get feathers from them. I think we can just shear them. So maybe I can just plop down a shearing station in this room and get at least a couple. But as I said, we are struggling with time. So I'm going to try to do more than one thing at a time here. I am going to queue up some more refined metal just because I know when I go to build Atmo Suits, I'm going to need at least a little bit of it. So like to build the station and to actually make the Atmo Suits, we should also get an exosuit forged down. Do I even have that technology? Oh, I still need to do the research for Atmo Suits. Okay, a lot of things going on. Where are they? Atmo Suits. Down here. So we need to do this tile. That'll give us the Atmo Suit checkpoint, the dock, the exosuit overlay, the Atmo Suit pattern, and the forge to make. All right, we got a few more things to check into. So made the blast shot maker. To make intracosmic blast shot, right now we have nickel, we have fertilizer and peat, so we could use either one. We don't have this ingredient, which is petroleum or biodiesel. I don't have access to oil yet, but I think I can make biodiesel. To do that, I need to research the emulsifier. So we're going to do that, and then that will come back to this. I set up an exosuit forge because I finished that research. I'm also expanding this little temporary power grid. I added in 2 more peat burners. I'm building in storage for peat so they don't have to keep running back and forth. And I am connecting up the automation, and then this will run. It'll give me a little more power when I need it. So we're expanding out. We're going to need that power. So I want to put in exosuits after I can get to the exosuit forge to make it. To do that, I need to get in here to get to our Rex so that we can get some feathers. I don't know how many we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get enough to make a decent amount of exosuits. I don't know anything about it, but we'll get there once we get up there. I do know I'm going to need power up there, so let's check out the power line we have. Right now, we're already severely pushing on this line here. So what I think I'm going to do is set up another transformer. I'm just going to put it here. And we'll connect a heavy watt wire to it. And then I'm just going to run another wire that comes up like this and goes up this way and goes, oops, I don't have that kink in the line, goes to here, and we're going to bring it all the way up to here. I'm going to need power up here for our shearing station, so we'll at least get the long section of it built while we're waiting for other stuff to get done. Put a thing across there. And then what I want to check out is this room here. So my thinking is I'm going to close off the duplicant quarters area here. So we'll have their cots, we'll have their mess table, their bathroom all inside here. And then I still have this nature reserve set up, which gives 6 morale, but there's no reason for people to go through it. So I think I'm going to make this the exit to a very small base here, meaning that the people will need to go through here to get out. I'll close this off on the bottom and top. The question is, I want to put the Atmo Suit Docks in here. I'm going to need to get to the point where I have enough that I can get one for all of our duplicants, which means 8 of them. I have the oxygen for it. I can connect another pump and send oxygen out. But I don't know if putting the Atmo Suit Docks inside this room will break the nature reserve or not. So I want to test that. So we can't have industrial machinery, but I don't know if the checkpoints count for that. So we're going to put this here. And then I'm just going to put one dock behind it, and then we'll see if that counts, as this still counts as a nature reserve. And if it doesn't, then I'll move them and put them out here in this room. But this is what I'm testing first. Once we get that up, we can work on getting a ladder going out from here so that the duplicants have to go out this way when they go out to do stuff. Every duplicant will get the nature reserve bonus before they go. And then we'll be able to be in an Atmo suit everywhere outside the base, which will be helpful, make things a lot smoother. But like I said, we need to get Rex handled first. Determined that this is a valid setup. We have all of our docks and our checkpoint in this room, and it still counts as a nature reserve. Very helpful. I'm now running some piping. I ran another power line that comes from down here. 8 docks. It takes exactly 1 line of power, so we're good on that. And now we're running a line here to get oxygen over to it. So once we get some Atmo suits set up, we'll be able to turn this on right away, is the goal. I just have this line coming up from here. I need to put a bridge across from here to there. And then I have a new line that I'm running where we're going to connect it up to these pumps in here so that we will have a separate one going to this vent, and then this will divert over and go to the Atmo Suit Docks. I also need to get power to these other pumps because they're not connected. I disconnected the top 2 of these electrolyzers since power is at a premium at the moment. These 2 are going to produce 1776. Is that right? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Math is hard when you're recording. 1750 or so of oxygen. We have 8 duplicants, which means we'll have more than enough oxygen being produced. Because when they're in their Atmo suits, that means less is going to be pulled out from this vent. We also don't need to pressurize the whole place because they're going to be in an Atmo suit whenever they leave here, which means that all we need to do is keep this area filled with oxygen, which is nice. So, like I said, we do need to get docks or Atmo suits for it. Oh, we have some carbon dioxide going in there because, again, they're in there breathing out carbon dioxide for the while they're working. So I'm going to quick divert this path I just want that to exit here. We'll disconnect this, and then once we have them out of there and we're not going to have any more carbon dioxide going through the line, I'll redirect these lines so that we have the one at the top will be pulling the oxygen. After we finish building this, people going in here will have Atmo suits and it won't keep happening, so it's just a temporary issue. But basically this pump will go to this line, it'll put oxygen into here, the other pump will go through and it'll send it up to our Atmo Suit Docks. I think I'm also going to try to make it so that when this doesn't need oxygen, we'll send another line, because then I can double up over here and get these filled faster when there's excess flow. It'll prioritize keeping oxygen for the dupes inside the base, but we can have it so that we are able to keep the Atmo suits filling up just a little bit faster when we have more than enough oxygen in there. So basically that's going to go there. We'll put a bridge across, and then once we're ready, we'll connect that up. So like right now we have enough oxygen in here, so the line is stopped. That line could go over here and help fill up these dock stations faster. And then this is just set up so it'll take the oxygen from the top line first, and then if there is no oxygen there, it'll fill up from the second line. Just a nice way to keep it high priority, getting all of the docks filled as soon as possible. So we have power, we have oxygen going, we just need to get Atmo suits, which means we need to get these Rexes sheared. So let's take our shear station. I made some little changes up here so we had enough space to put down this station, and then we can take a power line and connect it from here over to the line we ran up, and then that should work to get these guys going. I think I'm going to leave them wild for now just to see how they go. We do have enough space. I could put in a grooming station in here. This room is 143 tiles though, and I think the stables can only be 96, so we'd have to make some adjustments. But for now, I just want to let those Rexes go and see what happens when they're wild, if I can shear them and get enough feathers, or if they're going to cause us issues. I think that they're attacking my people, which is fine. I'll have to figure out how to handle that. I didn't think that they would. I thought they only attacked the critters, so I guess that's going to be an issue. So what happens? That's going to be a challenge, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll just get it set up. I need to get a critter rancher so that we can actually use the steering station. So let's check out. One of our farmers will be the quickest one to get to that. So Frankie, you're now a critter rancher so that you can do the shearing. And oh, it does need to be inside of a stable. So let me think about how to do this. We're going to need to make this room smaller. So I think easiest way to do that probably be just cut the room shorter. So let's do a ladder back here. And how big did I say this room was? It was 143, so I basically need to cut off 50 tiles. It is 15 across, so that would be 30 minus 3 is 27, 42. So if I put a roof right at this level, that room will be fine to become a stable. It looks like they are attacking my guys, but they're not doing serious damage to them, so it's okay. For now. Is this bleach stone down here that's causing this coming off, or is there something else in here? Bleach stone I have somewhere to store so I can sweep it to get rid of it at least. Must be from when I was digging out. Or maybe one of these guys drops bleach stone. Oh yeah, it's probably the dartles. Oh, okay. A lot of things diving in at once. So I'm going to get the bleach stone cleaned up, and I'm going to get this built out so that I can get these guys sheared and get some Atmo suits going so the guys can stop dealing with all these nasty elements. Made some changes to this design because I realized I need these dew drippers inside here if the dartles are going to continue to be fed, and that's what the Rexes need. So they are carnivorous critters that feed on the critters in here, and then they produce brine ice. These guys feed on the dew drippers, which then they drop down bleach stone. So I think that this might be sustainable. I'm going to have to move some more of these guys back in. We'll see. I probably should put in a critter drop off in here. That way I can just wrangle them. And then I can keep the dartles in here with them. I think that when these guys are like, they won't take them down until they're elderly. Hopefully. I don't know. Still learning about these, so may or may not work the way I expect it to. Let's cancel this. I'm just going to wrangle those guys once I get them, and we'll put them in here. We may need to make some changes to it, but we did get some feathers, which means we were able to queue up and produce a couple of Atmo Suits, which means we have a couple of them in here now. I would like to get them all built before we close this area off, but we're in progress. The problem is that these Rexes, their feathers don't grow unless they are tamed, I think. But we have them in here for taming, so we'll hopefully get that sorted. What I think I can do is I can go down here and grab some more from other areas. I'm going to leave one of them as a natural preserve for them, just in case I mess it all up. I don't want to lose all of them, but I have Rexes down here and I have Dartles down here. I can take them and put them up in there and then do some experiments. But at the very least, if I relocate these guys up to that room, I'll be able to grab a few more feathers for now. So let's set this to Rex and Baby Rex, and then also to Darts and Dartles and Dartlets. And then I can wrangle these guys. I can wrangle this one, and we'll come down. I think this one I'll leave for now. And then any other areas with those in, I'll wrangle this dart. I'm just going to call them darts because I'm never going to remember dartle and dartlet. I'll get that one. And then I need to come down here and get to this. This room has some, my cooling thing is now built, and I'm getting some stuff in there, but it's slow going. Slow going is for sure the case I'm at. So let me get in here, and I'm going to put a ladder down from here. We'll go this way. We'll go all the way down here as well. Oh, actually, I got to be careful there. That's going to crack into the heat. I don't want that ruin my ice biome before I even get to it. So that'll be good, and we'll do a little dig here. So then we can get down in. We'll be able to grab the Rexes from over here. We'll get darts from in here. Lots of things to grab and get sorted out. I gave this some more thought while I was working in here, and I'm going to change this up. I'm going to turn this off from the dartles and dartlets, because these guys are going to end up eating all of my dartles and dartlets if I do it this way. What I really need is to have a ranch here that holds the Rex, a ranch for the darts, and then the darts, when they'll lay eggs, and I'll incubate them. The excess darts will be dropped in here as food. So basically, I'm not even sure if you can tame the Rexes. That's something I need to figure out. But we'll leave these guys in here. They'll eat the Rex. The Rex will eat the darts, which will make it so their feathers grow, because they gain feather growth 25% after they eat. And then that means we'll be able to get more feathers off these guys. So I have this set up for the Rex. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make this a new floor. It comes out to here. We'll put in a door here and here, and we'll adjust the size of these to match what I need. And we'll make it so that there's two different ranches up here, and then the dew drippers will be in here. I can probably put in some regular farms for the dew drippers as well. They require us to fertilize with brine ice. These guys produce brine ice, so it'll be nice and convenient. We can grab the brine ice from here. They can run up and they can keep these going. We'll be able to get more of these. We'll be able to sustain our dartlets. And then that means we'll be able to have like farms that work in concert. It's kind of like when I had the setup with, pips and pokey shells and things all working together to produce all the different things that we need. Because the pips would make dirt to fertilize trees, which would then make the polluted dirt by burning the ethanol that we needed to feed to the pokey shells. Little symbiotic relationship going on. So we're going to need to do some of that. for now, we have just a couple of Atmo suits going on here. Oh, this is... Don't want them using this right now. Let's disable it. We have a couple dupes running around Atmo suits. Problem is right now they're coming out this way. They're not coming back through. So I have Amari over here still in his suit, and he's just like in his bedroom. We don't need you in a suit at the moment. So we'll get the suits redelivered to here, and we'll leave that disabled until we're ready for it. And we'll go down and we'll get more Rexes, populate this farm, we'll get more darts, populate the top farm, and that means we'll get more feathers out of it. So far we went through another 15 cycles during this series. We didn't get up to actually get to the meteor blaster. I did figure out this part. We need to work on the emulsifier as our next setup. So let me take a look at that. And that would be under probably refinement. So the emulsifier, we need refined metal and glass to make that, which means we need to go to, we probably need to do research. So let's do, the glass is from the glass forge. And that is this research. So we'll research that. We'll get that set up so we can make a little bit of glass, so we can make the emulsifier. The emulsifier will allow us to make biodiesel, so we can make some intracosmic blast shot. Who do I have that has our Atmo suit on at the moment? She's up here. You know what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to go up here. We'll continue this ladder up. I just want to get to this area. So we're going to put a ladder all the way up to here. Actually, let's stop just a little below, and then I can put a little thing that makes it so I can control who goes out, and I will make it so that I can send somebody up here just to get these open, dig this out, and take a look at this meteor blaster, because this thing is looming very, very large. We still have 134 cycles, though. We'll be okay. Who got trapped? Ren got trapped. All right, this dig needs to be done immediately so Ren can get out of it. There you go, Ren. So yeah, still a lot of moving parts to do. I do appreciate the comment I got last time that there's a lot of small steps to getting the blast shots working, because that's definitely true. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll work on getting this area refined a little bit in between episodes. And then when we come back, we'll have a working Rex farm to get those feathers going, which means we'll have working Atmo suits, which will really accelerate this progress. And in the next episode, we'll work on getting the emulsifier running so we can start making blast shots and hopefully take some shots at this asteroid that's headed our way in the next episode. But we'll see. There's still a lot of things we need to figure out to make that happen. For now, I'm going to call it for today. I'm running 30 minutes again, so it has been quite an episode. We got a lot done. We got a lot of projects started, but not a lot of stuff finished, because we still also have more work to do with our coolant system. But we've got the groundwork to several different things. We just need to get a few episodes in to get them finished, and then we'll be much better off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.